So we've got the JBL Clip, and we've got the JBL Flip, oh yes. But now, we've got the JBL Grip. It's the company's newest ultra-portable speaker with a fresh design, but did JBL really need to add another speaker to its already jam-packed lineup? Maybe, maybe not. I gotta say, this one surprised me, so let's get into it. The Grip features JBL's first upright design, at least when it comes to handheld portables, and it's pretty lightweight at just 385 grams. It's shaped to easily fit into your hand, a backpack, but thanks to that upright design, I also find it makes for a decent little desktop speaker without taking up too much room. As far as placement in the JBL lineup, it's a little larger than the Clip 5, but not quite as big as the Flip 7. Flip 7. Otherwise, it's got the usual JBL vibes. It's wrapped in a durable fabric and it's rated IP68, so it's ready for sand, rain, or even a quick dunk in the pool. Around back, there is a utility loop to clip it to your bag, an integral part of the ultra portable design, and you also get this nice semi-customizable LED lighting strip that ups the vibes. There we go. Check it out, I'm upping the vibes. You can change the light colors using the button below the strip or through the JBL Portable app. Otherwise, it feels like your usual JBL speaker, ready for park hangs, beach days, or those late night bike rides. If people actually do that. Do they go on late night bike rides? I don't know. Controls are simple and tactile. On top, you'll find the buttons for power, Bluetooth, and Auracast, and on the face of the unit, you'll find your playback controls. If you're already familiar with JBL stuff, you'll know what to expect, but maybe the Grip is gonna be your first speaker. Everything's pretty easy to use, and the playback buttons are even raised, easy to find without looking. When it comes to connection, the JBL Grip connects to your device wirelessly over Bluetooth 5.4 and supports both SBC and AAC codecs. It's also Auracast ready, as mentioned, which means it can link up with other newer JBL speakers like the Flip 7 or the Clip 5 or even the Charge 6 for synchronized mono playback. Overall, I found the connection to be pretty stable, didn't run into any dropouts during my time using the Grip. However, it is worth noting that we've discovered that these newer JBL Auracast ready speakers won't pair with older models that still use Party Boost like the Charge 5 or the Flip 6. Additionally, as usual, you'll need a matching speaker for true stereo performance. Now, when it comes to app support, I definitely recommend downloading and installing the JBL Portable app. Here you can customize the lighting effects, and you even get a 7-band custom EQ to personalize the sound of your Grip. So if you want a little extra bass or a little extra treble out of this bad boy, you can easily make those tweaks. This is also where you can visually manage any Auracast link speakers if your friend shows up with a Clip 5 or Flip 7, and access any firmware updates. Those updates are always a good thing to check for when you picked up a brand new speaker, especially a brand new model. Overall, JBL has pretty decent app support. This is also where you'll find the Grip's Playtime Boost setting, which claims to provide a couple extra hours of playback. Looks like a cool feature on paper, but it kind of sounds like a podcast EQ preset. No bass, mostly mids and treble, which is fine if you're listening to a podcast, but it's not exactly going to extend your impromptu dance party with that missing low end. Speaking of dance parties, how long can you party with the JBL Grip? Well, JBL claims up to 12 hours of battery life or 14 hours with Playtime Boost turned on. Now, after performing our battery tests with 2 different Grip units, we got different results. It's very possible that one of these units was defective, so I have been chatting with JBL to get to the bottom of it. Rather than continuing to delay this video, here's what I can say. Depending on how loud you like to crank your speaker and what type of content you're playing, you should be able to get anywhere between 3 hours and 12 hours of playback from the Grip. The former if you're crushing beers and cranking heavy metal tunes all night with plenty of double kick. The latter if you're using it for personal listening at your desk, maybe some soft jazz or Enya or something. Doesn't it kind of look like a beer can? It's kind of like a beer can. Probably light beer. Anyway, okay, what am I doing? All right, on to sound quality. First up, the Grip has a single full-range driver flanked by 2 small passive radiators and is rated at 16 watts of output. For reference, the Clip 5 is rated at 7 watts and the Flip 7 at 35 watts. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised the first time I fired this speaker up. This thing absolutely smokes the Clip 5. It delivers a more satisfying low-end punch, and the treble clarity is still there as well without sounding too shrill. Overall, it's a fuller sounding speaker that lets you hear more instrument detail than the Clip 5. Comparing them directly, the Clip 5 sounds like a small speaker. Not that it's a bad unit, it's just limited by its smaller design. I find the Clip 5 and other smaller units tend to overemphasize mid-range frequencies, which can make instruments like bass guitar sound a little boxy. Otherwise, back to the Grip, Listening to rock tracks like Back in Black by AC/DC, the kick drum lands with a solid low-end punch, but at the same time, I can still make out the attack of the sticks on the hi-hat and even the distinct scrape of Angus Young's pick hitting the strings of his SG as it screams through that Marshall stack. Overall, the sound quality is seriously impressive for something this small and portable. Of course, it still has its limitations, just like any other small speaker. At higher volumes, if you're pumping out bass-heavy EDM, that bass strength starts to fade and sound a little compressed. However, I didn't notice much distortion at higher volumes, so maybe that AI sound boost is actually doing something. Remember? AI sound boost! Yeah. Lastly, I just want to reinforce the fact that the Grip is clearly designed for convenient grab-and-go listening when it's just you and a few friends. If you're regularly entertaining bigger groups of 10 or 15 people or so, you'll want to make the upgrade to the Flip 7 or the Charge 6 for even better bass response and overall output. Or hey, even a Flip 6, which you could probably find for around $100 these days. So, should you buy the JBL Grip for $99? Well, if you want the smallest JBL speaker that still sounds good, this is it right here. Of course, you won't get party level bass with a speaker this small, but for chill hangs, quick adventures, the Grip absolutely earns its spot in the JBL lineup. It's more powerful than the Clip 5, it's more fun than the Bose SoundLink Micro thanks to that built-in lighting strip, and it's cheaper than the Flip 7. Overall, SoundGuys approved. Otherwise, if the Grip isn't gonna quite cut it for your next adventure, head on over to my best Bluetooth speakers video of 2025, right here. Happy listening. I can only do it with one. Okay, that's fine.